and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. Today's recipe is a sort of a healthy recipe and sort of a not healthy recipe. So we're going to be like, you're not going to feel too guilty, but it's going to taste really good. So this is a delicious recipe for stuffed mushrooms that we call stuffed shrooms. I like stuffed mushrooms. When I wanted to make them myself, though, I could only find recipes that had cream cheese in them. I am not an enormous baked cream cheese fan, I can tell you that. But it seems to be a very popular ingredient for every freaking thing. So I messed around and came up with a good mushroom stuffing. It's actually a very good mushroom stuffing. It could this recipe could very easily be made non-dairy, vegan, wouldn't be very difficult at all. So I'm not going to give it to you that way, though. I'll let you make your own adjustments for whatever your dietary needs are. But it's a very good basic recipe, and I'm going to give you some techniques working with the mushroom caps. So this recipe, I usually get 2 8-ounce containers of white button mushrooms or 1 16-ounce container of white button mushrooms fresh. And when mushrooms are fresh, the caps are very close to the stem. If they've been sitting, the longer they sit, the more they'll expand until they're like popped wide open. So you want them to be reasonably fresh, reasonably tight on the stem. The larger button mushrooms are perfect for this if you can find them in your area. Sometimes we get them in our area of the world, generally in the summertime, and they are probably about, maybe a 2-inch diameter when they're a real big one, and that's like dinner when you do that. So whatever state your mushrooms are in, about a pound of them is just about right. You want to remove the stems, clean them. The caps are left whole, and you take your stems and clean them, and then you chop them all up because they're going to go into the filling. We're not going to waste our stems, okay? So you're going to need your little stems all chopped up. In addition to that, the rest of the filling is 1 can of cut leaf spinach. That's canned spinach, and it's about a 13.5-ounce can, drained well. 1 can of artichoke hearts, drained and chopped. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, a half cup of shredded provolone cheese, and 1 cup of lemon pepper panko crumbs or plain panko, and 1 teaspoon of lemon pepper seasoning. You're going to mix all of those ingredients together. That's the chopped mushroom stems, the spinach, the artichoke hearts chopped, the minced garlic, the provolone cheese, and the panko. Mix that up pretty well. Then you're going to add to that 1 egg that kind of binds it together. Mix it up and you'll have this nice bit of stuffing filling. Now, you're going to also need a half a cup of butter melted. Because the funny thing about mushrooms is if you stuff them and bake them and they haven't been rolled in something like a particular fat, they don't bake. So they will, to me, they come out looking like they did when they went in, and they can be very tough. So what you want to do is take your mushroom caps and dip them into the melted butter so that it's inside and outside. You can also use, if you prefer, margarine or olive oil to do this. Same thing, you just want to coat that whole mushroom. I like the butter because it gives it a very nice flavor, but whichever you use, it just needs to have that coating of a fat on it. Olive oil works actually very nice, and I've used that before, but I just prefer the butter. So take your mushroom caps, and the way I usually do this is I'll take all the mushroom caps one at a time, roll them into the butter, and put them onto a baking sheet that's been lined with aluminum foil, and just set them on there. And they're all coated with butter sitting on there. Then I will take a small spoon and I will start scooping filling into each cap. You can round it up as much as you like, press it down, whatever, but you want to fill the cap up with the filling. You may have some filling left up depending on the size of your mushrooms. If you have some left over, you can take that filling and actually bake it in a small baking dish just for, so that it doesn't go to waste, and cut it up into little cubes and eat it. It's very good. So now you've got all your mushrooms filled. You're going to bake them at 400 for 10 minutes. Now, if you're a real cheesy cheese lover, you can sprinkle cheese over the top of these and have melted cheese go over the top of them. I don't. I think this is plenty here, and we often have this for a side to our dinner. Sometimes, like I said, if we have the big mushrooms, we'll have this for dinner. This is it, but like I said, you can put cheese on the top and melt it if you want to. I don't. And you bake that 400 for 10 minutes, and you want to serve them hot or at least warm. And you can serve them with a side of pasta sauce, marinara sauce. You can have herbed olive oil to dip them in, whatever. You don't have to have anything to dip them in. They are just delicious, just delicious. They make a wonderful appetizer for a party. Mainly, the thing about using them as an appetizer is you can make up the filling and have that ready ahead of time, and then just prep your mushrooms, put your filling in, bake them, and it's a pretty quick finish to have out and ready to go. But they're just delicious, and it's a different sort of a filling than any recipe that I've seen. I mean, I really like it. I think it's a very flavorful filling, and it's very good. So give it a try. I think you'll enjoy them, and it's just something, if you're a person that likes that sort of appetizer dinner, I think you'll enjoy them. Now, this is my other stuffed mushroom recipe. Now, this filling, you do the same process with the mushrooms. This filling is what you usually will find in a recipe book or online or whatever when you look up a stuffed mushroom recipe. So I'm going to give you my version of what I found online, and fixed. Does that sound terrible? All of the recipes that I found for a stuffed mushroom that was not like a crabbed stuffed mushroom were basically mix up stuffing mix, add a block of cream cheese to it, mix it together, and put it inside of a mushroom. This is not horrible, by the way. Just so you know, I mean, it's actually good when it's done. As I said, I'm not an enormous fan of baked cream cheese, but I'll tell you what I did to that recipe to make it tastier for myself. Okay, I used 1 box of stovetop stuffing, chicken stuffing mix. Stuffing for chicken. 1 box of that. I did not prepare it to package instructions like a lot of the recipes tell you to, because it has a 1/4 cup of butter in it, and I'm already going to be adding it to a block of cream cheese. So I left out the 1/4 cup of butter. You need 1 box of stuffing mix, made to the box instructions without the butter. So it would basically be the amount of water they call for and your stuffing mix. So mix that up. Then I used an 8-ounce block of Neufchâtel cheese, which is lower in fat than regular cream cheese. Plus it's softer, so it's very easy to blend in. And again, I saved all my mushroom stems and I chopped them up and put them into the filling. And I minced 1 small onion and mixed in there also. So you have a box of stuffing mix, your stems chopped up, 1 small onion minced, and 1 8-ounce block of Neufchâtel cheese. And you're going to blend that together. And again, you're going to put that into your mushrooms. Then I took Romano cheese and shredded it and just sprinkled that on the top. Again, baked them for 10 minutes at 400. They're very good. They're not as good as the other. They're not as good as the spinach artichoke mushrooms, but they are also very good. And it's just another variation. And as I said, I made it a little more palatable for myself, but it's very, very good too. I know a lot of people like to stuff mushrooms with crab meat. I'm not a big fan of that. So, I mean, I'm not going to give you that recipe because I didn't do it. But I did both of these stuffed mushrooms, and they're both very good. Like I said, I just love to do this kind of stuff for supper. There's something different that I enjoy that I can, if I eat 4 stuffed mushroom caps or 6 stuffed mushroom caps, I might not do that at a party. But if I'm having them for supper and I really like them, I would eat that many. I just love good things. So thanks a lot for listening. I hope you enjoyed the Stuffed Shrooms episode. And give them a try and let me know what you think.
Don't forget to check us out online. You can tell us about how they turned out for you, or she'll have pictures on there on Facebook. We're at Mary Mac Bakehouse on Facebook and Instagram, and Mary Mac Mixes on Twitter. And the website is marymacpodcast.com.
Thanks a lot for listening if you did, and if you didn't, too bad for you.